Tiny bobblehead Geraldo Perdomo, are you as disappointed in your team's defense tonight as I am? The answer is yes. We are going live to talk about the Diamondbacks losing to the Nationals 9-7 with one of the worst defensive nights we've ever seen this team have. Don't you go anywhere. We're starting in 30 seconds. I am so sick of hearing that goddamn song. Welcome in to another edition of the PHNX Diamondbacks show right here on PHNX. My name is Derek Montilla, occasionally known as your mayor of PHNX. And I have with me, of course, once again, for the last time, maybe ever, on the ones and twos, the one and only large intimate Kevin Thomas. And this one's a rough one, y'all. I wanted to send Kevin off on a winning night, but instead... We're talking about the Diamondbacks losing to the Washington Nationals by a score of 9-7. This show's brought to you, of course, by our friends over at Game Time and Bet365. Go use that code of PHNX over at Game Time. On your first purchase, you'll get $20 off, and you'll also save a lot of money on tickets. Then go over to Bet365, which makes watching games, even games like this one, more fun with their live in-game betting. You can use our code of PHNX365 over there. You'll get yourself $150 in bonus bets. Welcome in to you guys. I am so glad to have you guys here. Caesar says, Derek, you are literally the only reason I watch the Dbacks. LOL. They should cut you a check. They don't necessarily cut me a check. Those were very tiny. That was very tiny, Kevin. I'm gonna need they want to see their chats. I want to see stuff bigger too.
I'm working on it.
This is what they pay me in. The Diamondbacks pay me in having the Geraldo Perdomo Serpientes bobblehead one night early. That's what I get for all of my efforts, but I appreciate you, Caesar. I don't appreciate the defense that we saw tonight played by the Arizona Diamondbacks. This is their third loss in a row. Do you want me to tell you? I should probably wait to upset you with this information, but I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway. The Diamondbacks are now 13-10 this season in games where they score 6 runs or more. Oh my God. That is the most disgusting stat I think I've ever read on this show. This is their third loss in a row, and this one can be blamed squarely on the defense today, maybe even squarely on Ketel Marte's defense. Merrill Kelly was absolutely ran ragged today, and a lot of it was because of innings being extended unnecessarily long by poor defensive play. And every single time the Diamondbacks made a poor play, every single time they made an error, the Washington Nationals capitalized on it shortly after and runs were scored. And that is the reason why the Diamondbacks lost this game today. The Diamondbacks could have gotten out of the first inning relatively free of too much damage. I believe one hit in the inning. Maybe there's a second one, but Ketel Marte and Geraldo Perdomo had a chance to get an out over at second base. Marte absolutely dropped a routine ball, no question about it, to get an out at second base. That would have been the final out of the inning, and E4 is counted on Marte. Instead, the next batter is Josh Bell, which I'm going to get to you soon, Josh Bell. But why? What did we do to hurt you? Was it our continued discussion about your unnecessarily navy blue sleeve that you wore while you were a member of this team? I don't know why you did what you did to us tonight, but Josh Bell walks, and that loads the bases for the Nationals in the first inning. And then Hassel, who was a big-time recipient of the defensive mistakes by the Diamondbacks tonight, got a 2 RBI single that gave the Nationals a 2-run lead early. Another person that was a big recipient of all of the Diamondbacks' defensive mistakes was Luis Garcia Jr., who every time the Diamondbacks did something stupid was somehow He's somehow at the center of it. He was the one that reached at second base, or I believe at first base. He reached on Ketel Marte's E4 in the first inning. Then Marte made another defensive mistake, I guess you could say, in the third inning. I don't know if you wanted to, you could split hairs a bit on this one, or maybe argue whether or not it was as easy as I'm maybe making it out to be, but it looked like he missed a grounder. And that was again off the bat of Garcia Jr. That just went under his glove. It looked like maybe it could have resulted had Ketel been able to make a solid defensive play. Could have made a double play. Instead, both runners are safe. And then the next batter, once again, is Josh Bell, who hits a massive 3-run homer. After the Diamondbacks had fought hard in the bottom half of the first inning to get the lead back and have a 4-2 lead, the Nationals took it right back there in the third inning. And then again, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. seemed to kind of lose a fly ball in the 7th inning that resulted in a leadoff double once again for Luis Garcia Jr. I don't know what that man had on this team today, but Garcia would then go on to score on another Hassel RBI single. You also have the Ryan Thompson blocking of Josh Naylor there late in the game, and it was a mess. This team was a mess tonight. We have talked time and time again about what is Diamondbacks baseball, and is the 2025 edition of the Diamondbacks able to play that brand of baseball? So far, I don't know, right? Ketel Marte, again, coming back from missing time due to the flu, looked very rusty, at least defensively. Like I said earlier, the offense did get going early. They combated that 2-run deficit right away in the bottom of the inning. They got 5 hits and 4 runs scored. And again, things looked good, even though, you kind of have Merrill Kelly notoriously give up some runs, maybe 1 run, maybe a few runs in the early inning. The Diamondbacks did not seem to have as much damage as it looked like maybe it could potentially been. 2 runs did score, though, and it felt like once the Diamondbacks secured that 4-run lead after that bottom half of the first inning, it felt like this team was very much on track to kind of take command of this game. But that was not the case. And again, the reason why was defensive mistakes being made, and again, a lot of just early runners being able to get on against Merrill Kelly. He didn't look as specifically sharp tonight, but again, he was not I don't believe Merrill Kelly was purely to blame for this. That's why not most of his runs, a couple of his runs were unearned tonight. He only had 4 earned runs in this one. But again, the 5-run first inning, Carroll leadoff double, Marte walks, Perdomo, our wrist king, who was batting third tonight, thanks to Torey Lovullo changing that. He said his mom told him to throw out the analytics and go with his gut when it came to Perdomo being in there at third base and maybe just managing more with his gut. I would love to get Torey Lovullo's mom on this podcast to wax about baseball. He said that she is a baseball savant. She might be the original baseball savant. The website might be based on her, according to Torey. And he also said that he thinks she's like texting us and talking to us about some of this stuff because she does know a lot about baseball. And again, this Diamondbacks team right now could maybe use Mama Lovullo to come in and help us out, because tonight they looked lost. And again, I think the defensive mistakes and the fact that the Nationals were able to answer was kind of leaving the Diamondbacks a little bit shocked. The offense, once again, that got going early, but then you didn't really see a continued effort from the Diamondbacks offensively throughout the night. They get 4 runs in the first inning, 2 runs in the third, and then that was it until the 9th inning when they were able to get 1 run in on a Corbin Carroll double. But
Mayor.
Oh, what? What do you want?
I have a question for you. I feel like we shouldn't just gloss over him consulting his mom on the managerial choices, not as a criticism, because I'm sure managers get their ideas from any and everywhere, right? But I feel like we were kind of debating on the show recently, is Torey on the hot seat? Does he feel any pressure to create results right now? Publicly saying you're getting ideas from your mom, even if it's a joking way, does not sound like a guy who's feeling a lot of pressure with his job. That's just my take. You know what I mean? If you were like, Kevin, your thumbnails are awful, we got to get more creative, and I make a good thumbnail or a creative thumbnail, go outside the box, and you're like, oh, where'd you get that idea? And I'm like, Damon. You'd be like, oh, well, I thought, aren't you trying to make these changes? I don't know.
Well, it's like that, and the YouTube comments are exactly why we're replacing you and bringing Damon in, and that's exactly what's going on here. So yeah, that's very perceptive of you. I don't think. I mean, on one hand, the way that Torey Lovullo is so open is a big reason why people like Torey, right? We get that criticism. Everybody that tries to basically hold players and other people accountable, besides necessarily Torey, end up being labeled by many people, even some of you in this chat, as Torey fans, Torey supporters, Torey, whatever. I'm not going to deny that I don't personally like Torey Lovullo, and a big part of that is because Torey is a very open person. When he comes in and we speak to him, he often shares things like this with us, and he often is he's a different manager. Trust me, I was around for a very long time. I was in a lot of very intense scrums, and when I started here, Kirk Gibson was the manager, and that was terrifying for me every single time I went into the press room. So like the vibes are definitely different with Torey, and that's the reason why he gets a lot of this criticism, right? That's the reason why certain people will say like, oh, Torey loves to hand out his juice boxes and give out orange slices and do the stuff that he wants to do, or that he sounds like he's doing. It's because Torey is, at the end of the day, a very nice guy, and again, he's also like a very open person, whereas a lot of managers might not share that information. Doesn't mean that it's not happening. It doesn't mean that they're not getting ideas from other places, and in some cases maybe they're even in communication with their parents to get some advice, right? But some won't say that. Torey will, right? And so I don't know, but I will say that I think who asked in the chat if Torey being in the hot seat is real, and I will say Torey hot seat is probably fairly real. I've heard Torey bring up being fired over a couple of different reasons, including if he would have left Ryan Nelson in that game and Ryan Nelson would have gotten injured. There's been several mentions of Torey Lovullo talking about his job being in jeopardy. And the reason why is because the performance of this team, especially on a night like tonight, definitely leaves you needing to place blame somewhere, right? When you're having this many defensive mistakes and your team as a whole is just not playing very good defense, you kind of feel like you want to place blame on the coaching and what they're doing to make sure that the players are following the fundamentals and are prepared every single day for every single one of these baseball games to play their best defense. I don't know if Sean Larkin over at third base is accountable or to blame for this. I don't know if Torey's to blame, but what I can say is that I heard someone the other day, and I don't know, Kevin, if I've already brought this up. I might have just brought this up in my mind, but someone said, would you think of poor Ken Kendrick? Which sounded like they were being very, obviously tongue-in-cheek about it. Like they were kind of joking. Would you think about poor Ken Kendrick? But then they followed it up with some very good points. And those good points are, ever since this team made the World Series, Ken Kendrick has absolutely opened the checkbook and has put out money for high quality, especially starting pitching, and done everything he can, it feels like, to add to this team. He has surprised us in the media, and he has surprised many fans with the amount of money that he spent in order to bolster what they felt like was a team that had so much potential, had peaked, maybe not peaked, but had gotten to the mountaintop far earlier than expectations, and now was the time to spend that money in order to add to this roster and make this team one of the most competitive teams in baseball. Let's not forget that over the last two off seasons, this team went out and basically added the best free agent starting pitcher that was available on the market. And Corbin Burns has been great. Jordan Montgomery was an absolute disaster. And there's no way to tell the future, because if you did, you wouldn't be probably doing this. You'd probably just be making money gambling on horse races or stocks. I don't know. But you would have the foresight with your ability to see the future to do something else besides manage a sports team. But I will say that they didn't try. It's not like they didn't try. It's not like they didn't go out there and do everything they can, especially Ken Kendrick, who had a reputation of being the villain essentially before the last three seasons, right? A lot of people criticized Kendrick and said he wasn't spending the money and that he was cheap and he was this and he was that. And now once this team did experience the success they did, that feels like the spending has been there to bolster this team. Unfortunately, play like we saw tonight is what the Diamondbacks are producing, and it has to be very disappointing for this organization considering what they thought this team could be and what they went out and spent in order to add to it so that this team could be, once again, one of the most competitive teams in baseball. They are not that right now. The Diamondbacks sit at 27-30, Kevin? 27-30?
Correct.
Oh, God. AZ Catch G says at least there were fireworks tonight. Yeah, they were going off when we were starting the show. It was driving me nuts. Scotty Mack says offense cannot make adjustments. Yeah, that's how you end up with the fact that they were able to score 4 runs in the first, 2 runs in the third, and then nothing the rest of the game. It's more of the opposition adjusting to them and holding them fairly quiet, or maybe just the shell shock of seeing themselves go up 4-2 and then having the Nationals come right back and then coming back and then coming back. And then, at one point this game was tied at 6. You had Gabby Moreno, who hit what looked like was going to be an absolute 2-run home run, and he was robbed. I wanted to call the police. He was robbed by Dalen Lyle, who literally reached over the fence and brought the ball back in. You had another mistake, I guess, on the offensive side of things where Gino kind of, well, to his credit, Gino took off the minute that this ball was hit. It was a Lourdes Gurriel single. He took off. He knew it was going to land. Josh Naylor kind of held up at third. I don't know if that caused Suarez to maybe slow up a little bit, but Naylor ends up getting in and scoring a run. Meanwhile, I think at the time Gino was going to score either the go-ahead run or the tying run. Instead, he gets thrown out at home, and there's, again, another kind of opportunity squandered there with, instead of a runner being at third or scoring, the Diamondbacks end up with an out. And that has happened far too many times from Gino Suarez. In fact, he has now been put out at home base 5 times this season. That stat is courtesy of my friend Jack Summers over at Snakes Territory. Of course, that is more than any other player currently in Major League Baseball. It's gross, Kevin. It's gross.
Disgusting.
Oh, man. Well, didn't want to give the king snake to a baby giraffe again. We did that the other day when Shane was our producer. Nobody earned it, so we just gave it to a baby giraffe. Shane named him Harold. He was adorable. But I will say, again, Geraldo Perdomo hitting third doesn't seem to be too terrible, but this team wasn't able to do much else, like I said, throughout the rest of the night. Corbin Carroll got a leadoff double there in the 9th inning and was eventually available to come around to score. In the bottom of the 3rd, Gino doubled, and then Lourdes Gurriel. Again, that's that whole situation. Pavin Smith doubled to make it a 6-6 game, but that's as close as the Diamondbacks would come to winning this game. Once again, the bullpen was bad again. Merrill Kelly was not sharp. There's a lot of things we could talk about. We're going to on the other side of this break, but before we do that, got to give out the King Snake. And I'm just giving it to Pavin Smith because Pavin Smith was dialed in tonight. He was hitting the ball very hard off the bat. And honestly, this was a night where it was hard to really justify giving it to anybody. But Pavin Smith had 2 RBI. He had the double. He was 2 for 4. I'm still really sad about the Gabby Moreno home run that wasn't actually a home run, because that would have been a big difference maker. That was going to be a 2-run homer. And, of course, that theft, it's like it's like things just aren't going the Diamondbacks way. That him getting robbed, the bad defense tonight, little things like, again, Ketel dropping that basically routine play in the 1st inning felt like that was just going to be the way things were going to go for this Diamondbacks team tonight, and that's kind of how the cookie crumbled for them. But on the other side of this break, we're going to talk about Merrill Kelly, maybe ask if he's actually to blame for this one. He's probably not. The bullpen, they might be more to blame, and yeah, I don't know what the hell to do to fix this team, but we're going to talk about it on the other side of this break. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondback Show. Of course, Game Time is a life hack, and that life hack is for procrastinators to get cheaper tickets than people that maybe planned accordingly, because Game Time is the place to save up to 60% off last-minute ticket deals for concerts, sporting events, and so much more. Of course, they make scoring NFL tickets faster and easier as well with exclusive discounts. You'll find great seats for NFL games as low as $100. And the game time guarantee means you can trust you'll get 100% authentic NFL tickets on time and at the best price. Plus, fees are always included, so there is no surprises when you go to check out. They also offer, of course, what we've been talking about a bit, their Game Time Picks, which is a great way to let Game Time find for you the best ticket, best value, best seat in the house without you having to search through all the available tickets and deciding which one is the best seat. They have all-in pricing, again, which lets you see the total up front. And they also let you see what your view is going to be. So there's, again, no surprises. No surprises with the price, no surprises with the view. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app right now. Create an account and use code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account and redeem code PHNX for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Kevin, what time is it?
One last time. Game time.
It's game time. Also, Branded Bills has you covered. Let me tell you, if you are a hat aficionado like me, go to check out their website at brandedbills.com. They have all sorts of wonderful hats for this wonderful state of Arizona we live in. They also have partnerships with U of A and ASU as part of their campus collection, and they have some wonderful Phoenix Suns hats. But if you are looking to have your brand stand apart from the crowd, you can work with Branded Bills, and they will get you taken care of with the best custom headwear. Start your order, and their dedicated team will help you create the exact custom apparel you need. They're a local company from right here in Mesa, Arizona, so of course you know you can always shop local, and that's a great time to do so. Oh, got yourself a little Arizona hat right there. Bang. So don't forget, and they stretch, they're wonderful. Check out their hats. You can save 10% right now. Just head to brandedbills.com and use code BBPHNX for 10% off your first order. All right. Well, Kevin, let's get to some super chats before we get on to Merrill Kelly's performance and me screaming about the bullpen once again, upsetting me. BComC clearly, is he talking baseball? Because, man, we know that
a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Okay. Let's start off with this one right here. We got BComC clearly said, does Kevin want to be my boyfriend? I need some love. Unfortunately, BCSC, I will speak on his behalf. Kevin is taken.
The streak continues of BCSC.
I mean, it's hard luck and bad luck and love for BCSC. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. Let me see. He says, I'm so close to crashing out. Trade everybody. Oh no. See, this is when I get worried. When he's talking about Noah being his little love muffin, that's on brand. That makes me feel good inside and secure and safe.
Well, they're eloping. If you watch Sons, you know that they're actually eloping.
Oh, man. Well, that's okay. That makes me feel a little bit better. But that's only when he's watching Sons. When he's watching our show, he's talking ball and he's sad, and that makes me sad. Caesar says, at this point, let the Mormons have them, meaning let the Diamondbacks go to Utah. We're not there yet, Caesar. We're not even ready to call the season yet, let alone give the team away. Please, I don't look. I like my job. I don't want to. I said I don't want to be here earlier, but I didn't mean it. Thomas Jury, thank you for your super chat. He said everybody love everybody. Jackie Moon. We're not when it comes to Kevin. Because of the YouTube comments. It's not my fault either. I didn't leave the YouTube comments.
Well, I'm excited for our Festival of Friendship, Derek.
We are going to have a Festival of Friendship before the end of tonight. I'm very excited. I got you gifts. I can't wait. I can't wait.
I got you so many gifts. I got you a gift.
You got me a gift?
I did.
Let's go. It's a real friendship. BCSC says, man, I hate this Evan team. What the F? I'm miserable. Again, that makes me sad. You're making me sad. He says, I'm offended by the super chat system because I put in more work than they giving me credit for. I ain't 50. I'm irritated, not happy at all, man. You are putting in more work than the Diamondbacks are, at least on the defensive end of the ball, and I'm sure Merrill Kelly would agree with you. He was frustrated with this team tonight. He didn't have a good night, and it was mostly because, honestly, Ketel Marte screwed him. Ketel Marte screwed Merrill Kelly tonight. I have no problem saying that or using that kind of offensive language. One more super chat from our guy, Nicholas Scrooters. We know Nicholas knows ball. He says, 5th in the MLB in runs scored, but pitching isn't fixable at this point. 7 runs should win you games 9 to 10 out of times. Also 1-4 when we score. Yeah, see, he builds on my 13 and 10 when scoring 6 runs. He says we're 1-4 when we score 11 plus runs. How and why and how? I don't know. That's sad. But also Merrill Kelly probably feels that tonight. He didn't have a good night, but it did feel like Merrill Kelly was kind of going to do the Merrill Kelly thing, right? He gets nicked up a little bit, but wasn't going to give up a run. And then he didn't have a good night, like I said, because he got screwed in the first inning by Marte's error. He ends up throwing 15 additional pitches in the inning, including allowing 2 RBI on that single to Hassel. Just think about that. If Ketel Marte just keeps the ball in his glove and steps on second base, those 2 runs don't score. There's the 2 runs that the Diamondbacks lost by. Not to mention the fact that the 15 additional pitches ended up cutting Merrill's outing short. Merrill's only able to go 5 innings, thus turning the ball over to the bullpen that gave up 3 more earned runs in this outing tonight. So I don't know what to do with anything anymore because it all kind of makes me sick, but it's all a cascading effect, right? You can see that the mistake by Marte was huge. Sometimes those mistakes don't end up being that huge. Every mistake they made tonight ended up being huge. Every mistake they made besides Ryan Thompson blocking Josh Naylor over there at first base, every defensive mistake, every big defensive mistake that extended an inning and kept, their pitcher out there on the mound resulted in runs being scored and resulted in this loss. If the Diamondbacks, if Ketel Marte makes one routine play and one pretty good play, because that's the one that resulted in Josh Bell hitting a 3-run bomb, right? And again, if Ketel Marte is able, forget the double play. Let's say Ketel Marte just gets 1 out there. Then only 2 runs score if Merrill Kelly still gives up that home run to Josh Bell. Maybe he doesn't because maybe he's not flustered with his defense falling apart behind him. Maybe he's not just completely exhausted in the moment because he didn't throw those 15 extra pitches in the first inning. That's a different alternate timeline that we don't currently live in. I would love to see Marvel make a movie about that. I almost said a bad word because of how upset I am.
That was like a perfect censor, though.
I was so because I even let you know what I was going to say. I gave up my cards there.
Like I'm producing
That's how angry
I
am. This is infuriating. This is infuriating to see, and I can't. Again, you see the mistakes, and then you instantly see the ramifications of those mistakes. Merrill Kelly goes out there. He goes 5 innings. He gives up 6 hits. 6 runs, 4 of them are earned. He walks 2, struck out 6. Let's light up the Circle K strikeout meter. Merrill Kelly deserved better. This strikeout meter deserves better. You fans deserve better. And I think we're all very disappointed in what we saw from the Arizona Diamondbacks tonight. It's just a fact. The bullpen continues to be bad. That's it. I mean, I don't know if the Diamondbacks, if it's a different score. I don't know if it's not tied. I don't know what to say here, but you have Murillo going out there, going out there. Almost, I did it again. He walks 3, gives up 1 hit, 2 earned runs, only strikes out 1 in his inning of work. Beeks goes out there, gives up 2 hits, 1 earned run. He didn't strike out or walk anybody, but he gets that inning of work done. And again, then you had Ryan Thompson come out for an inning of work where he just gives up 1 hit. And Brigham makes his debut. He gives up 1 hit, 1 walk, strikes out 1. Nothing, to write home about with Brigham just yet, but at least he got through and did his job. Torrey talked about it before the game. Doing your job. Going out there and doing your job. You, as a reliever, have 1 inning of work. It's not to say that it's going to be perfect. It's not to say that you're going to go out there and be flawless. But what you should be able to do for this team against a Washington Nationals team that isn't very good is go out there and give this team 1 inning of work and not allow a run to score and give this team a chance to win. Murillo didn't do that. Jalen Beeks didn't do that. And this team continues to search for relievers that can. They just made some massive roster changes today that we're going to talk about here shortly. Big part of that was that they DFA'd Joe Mantiply. And again, that is because of performance. But Josh Bell, why? What did we do to Josh Bell, Kevin? What did we do for Josh Bell to have a night like Josh Bell had tonight against the Arizona Diamondbacks? He was 2 for 4 with 3 RBI, a home run. I believe he also had, a single? It's disgusting what this Washington Nationals team did. Now, they just won a game where they scored 7 runs, I believe, in the 11th or 10th inning or something like that last night. So I'm not surprised. I was just hoping at the fact that the Nationals, since they just competed in an extra innings game and had to travel here to Arizona, would have been a little tired. And yes, Candace, I absolutely miss Josh Bell too. I don't care if he's hitting 181 like he currently is, but he didn't look like he was winning 181 tonight, did he? Did he? Not with the way he torched his former team tonight. So, Josh Bell, I don't know what we did for you to do this to us, but all we did was try to love you. Kevin, I'm sad and I'm hot, and Candace says that I need to drink some water. So I'm going to do that. But what were your thoughts on watching this team tonight?
My thoughts were exactly what I told you after the game, and people in the comment section in the chat have been talking about it a little bit as well. How last year there was an improbable comeback, and it kind of fell flat, and you did overcome early season adversity, but this year feels different, right? What does it feel different to you? I know we were talking about it a little bit before the show, but like, what makes it feel different, and what makes it feel like this team can't turn it back around, even though it is still only a third of the way through the season?
Well, I will say that, again, I think we discussed this briefly, but last year we had so many more excuses, right? Not to mention the fact that we were coming off of a World Series appearance, so we were fairly high on, everything, and could say like, hey, look, Merrill Kelly is injured. Look, Eduardo Rodriguez is injured. They had a short off season. Things were weird. Jordan Montgomery is still getting started. Like, it felt like there was just a lot of hope still, even though their record was worse than I believe what it is now. I'm not sure if we're even there at that point anymore. I think that we might be getting close to the record this year being worse than last year's at the same point. But yeah, I mean, I think like no matter what, last year had a lot of injuries. Geraldo Perdomo was missing. There was a lot of things that you could point to and say, well, they're underperforming, but this is the reason why they're underperforming. This year, yeah, they've had some injuries. Yeah, some things haven't gone their way, but for the most part, it feels like this team is still the team that it's supposed to be, right? Like, most of the starters are here. Nobody's hurt any longer. We're missing some relievers. We lost Jordan Montgomery for the season. We've, had Eduardo Rodriguez go down, but he wasn't even very good when he did. Ryan Nelson replaced him and has been much better in replacement of Erod than he was. So, I mean, right now, like, yeah, Zach Gallen is struggling. There's some inconsistencies with the starting pitching, but for the most part, this is on the bullpen. This is on the defense. This is on the lack of the Diamondbacks playing elite baseball like they have been over the last few seasons. And again, I don't know if I've seen it at any point throughout this season to say this year's team is that team. There are so many things that have changed over the last few years, especially this offseason, that I don't know if without Tony Perez-Chica over there, I don't know without Christian Walker over there, I don't know if this team is the same team, right? And again, I know that these are just some small changes, but again, the Christian Walker thing alone seems to be enough to really impact the fact that we have a lot of those mistakes being made at first base, a lot of those mistakes being made on the infield, and I mean, we're just not seeing this team make spectacular plays. We knew that we were getting that with Josh Naylor, so I don't blame Naylor. And a lot of these mistakes haven't necessarily been his fault. There's a reason why most of the mistakes are throwing errors over to first base and not anything to do with Josh Naylor's performance. I also think that, there was a point in time where literally I could be serving up alley-oops to a guy named Sean Kemp, and no matter how bad they were, that dude could grab them and dunk them. And I think we had our own version a little bit of that over at, with Christian Walker being just so good at first base that even when you made poor defensive throws, even when mistakes were made, Christian Walker was so good defensively that he could make up for it, right? Now we're not seeing that. And we're also seeing other guys that we are used to being sound defensively, like Ketel Marte, making some mistakes. Again, this was his first game back. So I felt like Marte was just a little rusty, and that's what happens sometimes with baseball when you miss time. It ended up costing this team a lot tonight. It ended up being a big factor in this particular game. And yeah, Mark R says it. Nats were less garbage tonight. Nats played good baseball tonight. They didn't make those mistakes. They capitalized what the Diamondbacks did, and you got to tip your cap because they were definitely the better team in this one. You can just see a route if you want to smoke some copium with me. You can see the route where the Diamondbacks, the mistakes they made led to this loss. And I don't mean like, oh, the overall lack of offense and, Merrill Kelly giving up 4 runs and this and that. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm primarily just talking about the extended inning in the first inning that allowed those 2 runs to score and the mistakes, again, even maybe even throw in there that Gabby Moreno home run. But again, that's a tip of the cap to Lyle, who made an incredible throw or incredible catch there at the wall to prevent that ball from going over, not necessarily like some sort of weird, mistake that happened that caused that ball not to go over. But hey, shout out to the Nats fans that are here. Except my nips hurts because he keeps saying stuff about the Nationals are simply just the better team. You're an insane person, but hey, I'm glad you're here and I'm glad you feel that way about your team. You should feel that way about the team that you root for. But Scotty Mack, meanwhile, is more representative of the Diamondbacks fan base right now, and that is him saying D-backs ain't winning a single series this month. It starts to feel like that. It starts to feel like that. Well, we probably will win a series or two. And again, tonight was a game where you could see that if the Diamondbacks played their version of baseball, or at least what they call their version of baseball, there's a good chance they don't end up losing this game. So we'll see what happens over the next 2 games. The Diamondbacks' 2 best starters are going tomorrow and on Sunday. And also tomorrow, someone asked, yes, tomorrow is Geraldo Perdomo bobblehead day. This little guy is gorgeous. He's got the Perdomo on the back, and he's still kind of wondering what the hell went wrong tonight. So that's something that's very fun. But yeah, go get this guy tomorrow. He is going to be available. I don't know how many thousands of fans to go get that, but I'm going to tell you, he's highly coveted, at least in this office. I think that there's a good chance that Kevin and Damon fight each other over that bobblehead, and it's my bobblehead, so it's weird that they're going to fight over it. But on the other side of this break, we're going to take a look at the numbers from this game. We're also going to break down those roster moves that were made today by the Diamondbacks. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Dbacks show. Of course, All Pro Shade Concepts has some great products. And of course, if you're looking to extend your outdoor living space in this hot summer heat, make sure to contact them. They can help you out. They can help keep your patio up to 20 degrees cooler with roll-down patio shades. They can put those roll-down shades in your home as well, help you keep your home cooler, help you block out 95% of those harmful UV rays. So give them a call right now. They are the most trusted local shade company, voted #1 by Ranking Arizona for patio shades in 2024, with over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google. They can replace and fix most old or outdated patio shades or awnings as well. So again, give them a call at 623-204-1476 or visit allproshadeconcepts.com now to schedule your free estimate. And let me tell you, Espo won't shut up about how great his are. They're super cool looking. They roll down with a remote control. I'm very jealous. So if you want to be like Espo and you want to make your coworkers and your friends jealous, give All Pro Shade Concepts a call. And again, another great way to make your friends jealous is to spend a staycation out at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. You can put it on the gram, you can put it on your Facebook page if you're an older person like me, and you can let everybody know the great time you're having. That's because you can visit any one of Gila River's 4 valley locations at Wild Horse Pass, Lone Butte, Vikiva, and Santan Mountain to experience the best the valley has to offer. And right now, when we talk about the best they have to offer, we are talking about catching every thrilling moment in sports at the BetMGM Sportsbook at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. They have massive screens, delicious food and drinks, and all the action, including getting that little piece of paper in your hand to watch the NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs, all the racing, and all the baseball action this summer. It's the ultimate place to watch and win. Place your bets and experience the excitement. So check out Gila River Resorts and Casinos if you're looking for a night out on the town, or again, staycation, a place to hang out by the pool, get yourself a frosty beverage. Regardless of what you're looking for, you do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playathila.com for more details. All right, well, let's take a look at the numbers from tonight's game. Presented by our friends at Desert Financial Credit Union. Diamondbacks lose this one by a score of 9-4. They out-hit the Nationals 12 hits to 11. Runners in scoring position, Diamondbacks were 5 for 14. The Nationals were 4 for 11. Diamondbacks did not have any home runs tonight, and that Gabby Moreno one would have been the one, but they got robbed. They had 3 extra base hits. The Nationals had 4, and then the expected batting average again, Diamondbacks had some hard hit balls tonight, but they found gloves. They got robbed by national players, and that expected batting average ends up at 325 for the Diamondbacks. Meanwhile, for the Nationals, it is at 288. Tanner wants to know where relief ERA is. We do that on the post-series show, Tanner. Try to keep up. You're here every day. I'm disappointed in you, Tanner, quite frankly. I would think that you would know better than that. But the Diamondbacks, of course, don't have a great position right now in the NL West. Let's take a look at those standings after today's game. Diamondbacks now sit at 27-30. Meanwhile, the three teams above them all have 32 wins or more, and the Diamondbacks just continue to slip further back in the division.
The Dodgers won, by the way.
So are they at 35-22?
35-22.
And that was a game that really looked like early on because the Yankees were just hitting home run after, like the Yankees were incredible. The first time through the lineup tonight, the Yankees only had one single swing and miss from any of their batters. So Dodgers did something to adjust, and damn it, I'm not happy about that. But they improved to 35-22. The Padres sit at 32-23. The Giants sit at 32-25. The Diamondbacks sit further and further back at 27-30. Of course, we also have the Rockies that are going to lose 50 games before they win 10. Yes, that's not great. It's not great. Do we want to look at the probable pitchers for the rest of the series? Because it was what I was talking about earlier. The probable pitchers, again, you at least have what you feel like is an advantage in the rest of the series here for the Diamondbacks with Brandon Pfaadt and Corbin Burnes going. But what these guys will need is defense to be played behind them. And there's no guarantee that the Diamondbacks are going to do that. Yes, in the chat has completely lost their mind and says, I'm done with this team. Rockies are going to catch us at this point. There is no chance at that. There's no chance at that at all. Anyway, but what we will do is we'll take a look at the roster moves. Of course, the Diamondbacks made a bunch of roster moves prior to today's game, and that some of them we are aware of, some of them we didn't really expect to see as part of this. The Diamondbacks did select Jeff Brigham, who pitched in today's game from AAA Reno. They also signed Ildemaro Vargas to a major league contract. Vargas was in the clubhouse and was available at the off the bench, but they did option Kevin Ginkel, as we had discussed a little bit on our we did a YouTube short about that because that happened right after we did our show yesterday. Kevin Ginkel was optioned to Reno. Following Wednesday's game, Jordan Lawler was optioned to Reno as well. And Joe Mantiply, the Diamondbacks' sole All-Star game representative in 2022, has been designated for assignment. And I know that a lot of people here are probably excited about that. I know a lot of people are glad to see Joe Mantiply DFA'd. I will say that it's, for me, it sucks because obviously, as I've said time and time again, we get to know these guys. Joe's a great guy, but his 15.83 ERA this season at a major league level was unacceptable. And it obviously didn't feel like the team felt like he could get things back on track, despite the fact that he went to Reno and was able to pitch. I mean, it's just hard to really think that a major league veteran like Mantiply would struggle against AAA hitters. So I don't know if the results there are going to reflect anything that shows Mantiply is able to come back and provide anything at this level. But it does suck. It sucks that it didn't work out for him. And you know, we do truly wish Joe the best. I feel like he's going to be one of those guys that ends up making the Diamondbacks regret it. But I also feel like that about a lot of players that end up leaving this team. So I don't know, but it's unfortunate. And quite frankly, the Diamondbacks have a problem there when it comes to left-handed pitching. The fact that Joe Mantiply was one of their only lefties that they could really potentially add to this bullpen. I know there's other guys. I know there's Backus in AAA Reno as well that they're probably given opportunity to, but it just really feels like they're limited on left-handed pitching. And I don't know. I don't know if Mantiply was going to get called up anytime soon. I just don't know if they necessarily needed to DFA him right now at this point. But Diamondbacks have plans. They have things going on. They got to free up room, and for the most part, it's unfortunate, but I think it was the right call overall. considering how bad he was for this team at a major league level. Piece of Yoshi says Saul Frank should be back soon. I don't know, considering his suspension, how the Diamondbacks are going to handle that situation, but yes, he should be. He should be sending. He should be back soon. Maze Devil says, no, Derek, they're sending a message. And yeah, you're right about that. They are sending a message that if you don't do your job, you won't be a part of this team any longer. And that message is loud and clear, which is why they have to go out and make some of the moves that they're making to pick up other guys that have been released by other teams and give them an opportunity. Maybe, much like the way Ryan Thompson kind of got picked up off the heap from the Tampa Bay Rays and became an elite reliever for us, at least in 2023. Maybe the Diamondbacks can find another diamond in the rough at this point. But I do think that Diamondbacks fans, you guys are sick, and we are too. We are sick of seeing them trot the same guys out there and letting them blow a game and then acting surprised that they did it, right? Like Kevin Ginkel, for instance, has not really been throwing his fastball, despite the fact that his fastball is really good. Today, Torey talked about that they were sending him down to work on his fastball command, and that they were expecting to see him come back in 16 days, the amount of time that they have to wait before they can call a guy back. So, I mean, it very much sounds like Kevin Ginkel is going to be back as soon as humanly possible. But for the time being, they need some fresh arms, and they also need to give somebody else an opportunity when the guys that they've given opportunities to several times this year aren't performing. So that's where they're at. And of course, it'll be very interesting to see how the bullpen, if the bullpen can come back together to being an asset for this team, because at this point they are not that. All right. What else do we got here? Any more? Let's do some super chats. We got some super chats, Kevin, before I go on.
Oh yeah, totally. We got a bunch.
All right. Benjamin Hundley says it is hard to believe that at one point Alek seemed like a core player. Now he's batting ninth and getting pinch hit for by Tawa when it matters. Great point. Thank you for your super chat. And yeah, you're right. I mean, Alek Thomas definitely has had some huge hits in the history of this team. However, he is very inconsistent, and definitely, I mean, you think that he's turning things around, and then he ends up struggling or going right back into a slump. So be calm, see clearly is lost his mind. He says it is time to think about trading Ketel Marte. I'm just going to say that. I'm not going to address it, nor am I going to give that any credence. Mark R says, could Lawler get a hit off this bullpen? Wow, that's like a real 100 men versus a bear kind of thing, right? Could Lawler get a hit off this bullpen? I don't think so, because this bullpen can throw a breaking ball, and Lawler can't hit a breaking ball right now. David Harris 12, thank you for your super chat. He says McCarthy needs to come up. He brings a good vibe to the clubhouse, and I'm faithful his bat will turn around. Much love to the PHNX crew. Good night. Thank you, David. We appreciate that. I love Jake McCarthy, so I'm always down with that, and I would love to see Jake McCarthy, come back and be a big part of this team. It feels like that's what they're missing, is kind of that other outfielder that is able to make some great defensive plays. Tim Tawa's done good out there in center field. Alek Thomas is fine. It's just, you would love to see somebody be able to do both of the things, right? Somebody play center field well and also produce offensively. BComC clearly says, my man, Fott is on the mound, then Burns. See, we brought you back. We got you back to hope. We brought you back to earth. My nips hurt. Thank you for a super chat, just so you could talk crap in the chat. He says, y'all need to understand the Nationals are better than y'all. Disgusting that you're going to say we're the worst team and y'all took the L. It's because you're the worst team. It's because you're a worse team than us.
He also wanted to know where you got your shirt from. He was complimenting your shirt quite heavily, I think.
Okay. All right. Well, then, if you're going to compliment my shirt game, then we can be friends, and I'll take it all back for sure. My shirt is Magneto, because Magneto was right, by the way. Don't ever forget that at all, for sure. All right. Yes, he says, bro, is that a Magneto shirt? Yeah. Okay. No free ads, right? But Roosevelt's, find it. It's Roosevelt, like the president. All right. AZ Cats G says, games like this, we miss Kevin Newman. Yes, we do. We miss Kevin Newman. Kevin Newman was that guy for us that could definitely come up with some good at-bats. He was such a great utility infielder for this team. Brandon Chip says, Derek, is it copium to have a little tiny bit of hope left? Am I just coping? I'm sad, but I don't want to throw the towel in yet. No, you have to have hope, because again, I know this is a phrase that drives a lot of people crazy in this chat, but We're not even to June yet. I know it feels exhausting. I know it feels like we've watched 100 years of baseball in this one season. I am with you on that. But what I will say is that you got to keep hope alive. Like, there will be a time where I promise you, I will get into the gutter with you and I will get in the mud and we'll just be miserable together. I promise you. But what I think is this team right now is boneheaded because they are far too talented to be making the mistakes they're making. They're far too talented to be losing games the way they are. And in this case, this is a good Nationals team. I don't mean to discredit it just because of Nip's comments there. But what I'll say is that this team, the Diamondbacks team, is a much better team than how they're playing, at least. So that is what do you got? Okay, he said the Nats starting 5 versus the Dbacks starting 5 in a fist fight. Who he got as winner? I don't know if you got Josh Bell, and I think Josh Bell is going to be a decision. He's going to be a deciding factor.
Wait, it's the starting 5 pitchers, right?
Oh, is it starting 5 pitchers?
That was my interpretation.
Well, is Eduardo Rodriguez part of this starting 5?
Sure.
Do we bring him back just for this fight?
Yeah, you do.
Zach Gallen's too laid back to fight. Merrill Kelly will refuse to fight. He'll just refuse to fight. Brandon Pfaadt will fight because that's what he does. He fights. He foughts. Let's see. BComsy clearly says the Nationals will never win another World Series. Boom, bum, you're roasted. All right, well, we've completely broken down, but we need to move on. I want to move on from this game. I want to move on from talking about a lot of things because tonight is our friend Kevin's last night producing the show, and we have to get to the Festival of Friendship. So we're going to do that on the other side of this break. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondbacks show. Of course, whatever the moment, it is never ordinary at Bet365. It's also never ordinary around here. Bet365 has over 90 million users worldwide, and they offer the widest range of games and markets available for live in-game betting across 78 different sports. Of course, get down on the action right now with like the NHL playoffs, for instance. Is that still going on? Is the playoffs going on still for the NHL?
Yeah, we had the finals coming up. Yeah. Stanley Cup finals coming up. Panthers, Oilers.
Panthers and Oilers. That's not very fun. Shout out to our DLS crew who really needed that victory for their team. But hey, you are a winner if your team goes ahead with a 3-goal lead in the NHL, and straight bets as well as parlay selections will be marked as winners. So you are a winner regardless of the outcome of the game. New customers right now can get $150 in bonus bets using our code of PHNX365 by betting $5, win or lose. All you got to do is sign up, use that code of PHNX365, deposit $10 and make a bet of $5 or more to receive $150 in bonus bets regardless if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on spread, totals, players, props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it is never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 or over and physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, text NEXT STEP to 53342, or visit problemgambling.az.gov. And of course, right now is the best time if you are in the market for a new vehicle to check out Sanderson Ford. What you get at Sanderson Ford right now is the From America for America employee pricing, which is exactly how it sounds. You pay the same as the owner of Sanderson Ford on the full lineup of new Fords with no hassle, no pressure, no nonsense. And of course, at Sanderson Ford, no added markups. On top of that employee pricing, you get additional Ford incentives on over 1,000 vehicles during Sanderson Ford's Platinum 70th anniversary sale. Choose Sanderson Ford because not only do they have the inventory you're looking for, they will get you the exact vehicle you want. Color, trim. Don't just take what some dealership is going to give you. Go to Sanderson Ford that has the inventory. They'll get you the right vehicle. And while they're celebrating 70 years of treating you right, they will also give you a pair of tickets to see the Arizona Diamondbacks. You don't even have to buy a vehicle. You don't even have to take a test drive. Just stop in, get yourself some tickets. This does exclude the 2025 Expedition, Super Duty, Raptor, Family Mustang, and Bronco specialty vehicles. One pair of tickets per household with valid driver's license, and those are to the July 6th game versus the Kansas City Royals, while supply of 200 tickets last. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys so much, of course, for being here tonight on a very special night. I'm going to change hats real fast, Kevin. Actually, it's time. Let's just kick it off. Kevin, it is time for the Festival of Friendship as we say goodbye to our friend, Kevin Thomas. Yeah, let's get some music going in here. Yeah, I like that. Can you glockenspiel me once just for old time's sake while we're just doing it? All right, that's perfect. All right, I'm going to switch my hats out because I feel like I need a special hat for this. So I'm bringing the fedora on. I'm going to put our guy, Jesse Jr., around my neck. Kevin, you have been an incredible producer. Throw yourself on screen. Can we get some Kevin time? Look at this. I don't know how many episodes we've done, but you have never once done the producer cam on this show. Not one time.
We tried it that one time. We tried it that one time.
Oh, we tried it that one time. But yes, my friend, I have so many positive things to say about you. Definitely nothing to do with your Cardinals allegiance, because that's how you got yourself in this position of being kicked off the show. Let's not forget, thanks to Sean McFarland for pointing out that we can't have non-fans of the Diamondbacks on this show. So because of Sean's comments, Kevin is being removed from the Diamondback show. But Kevin, I want to tell you,
I'm not being fired, by the way, chat. I still have a job.
Yes.
Still doing Wildcats. In fact, I'm focusing more on Wildcats. But yeah.
He's leaving here to focus full time on Wildcats, which really makes me sick. It really makes me sick. But I want to say some nice things about you, Kevin. And I want to say first that in your time being here, I have truly enjoyed working with you. Kevin is one of the most easygoing people to work with. I've never heard this man complain. I've never heard him ever really be upset, quite frankly, aside from Damon's takes. Sometimes Damon's takes very much upset him. But I mean, you've done an amazing job in the time that you've been here. You've adapted quite a bit. You've been asked to do quite a bit. You came on as a producer. You end up being a show host on the Wildcats. You end up basically co-hosting the show with me. So I can't thank you enough. I have some presents for you, Kevin, as part of this Festival of Friendship.
That's crazy.
First present, if you wouldn't mind throwing it up on screen, I'm having this painted on the ceiling of our new office. That right there. Look, I made you God, and it's the creation of Derek, and that is going up on our office. That's going to just be the entire ceiling of our new office when we move.
I can't even express to you how bad I want to frame this and put it in my new apartment.
It's incredible.
I'm moving soon, and I want to put this in my new place.
Yeah, no, I mean that definitely is going to look beautiful in the new office. It's going to let everybody know of our strong connection. I also have for you, as many people know, Kevin and I are both pro wrestling fans.
Correct.
And I have for Kevin this autographed poster from a wrestling event that features the autograph of one Jacob Fatu. Because I love you, Kevin.
That's actually crazy.
It also
Derek.
has like
That's
Killer Cross
insane.
on it, Scarlet Bordeaux, a lot of people that are on there. But yeah,
That's
mostly
crazy.
a bunch of hardcore wrestlers that are
God.
crazy guys that make each other bleed. So I brought that.
Wow.
That's another thing that we're gonna have in the office for you, Kevin.
Wow, that's insane. Yeah, no, that's actually the first thing was funny. The first thing was really cool. You took time out of your day to do that. The second thing, like from the bottom of my heart, like I'm very thankful that you did that. You know, like people in the chat, like Derek is a really stand-up guy. I consider him like a work dad to me in a way. Like I'm not trying to call him old. I'm just saying like we have that kind of relationship.
Yeah.
And that is incredible, Derek. And I'm from the bottom of my heart thankful. But I would be remiss.
I'm thankful for you.
I'd be remiss if I didn't also say, like, I appreciate you for, welcoming me into this show with open arms. Because, I follow baseball. I've always followed baseball, obviously being from St. Louis. But I'm not, necessarily a baseball diehard, so to speak. So I've really tried to throw myself into the sport this past, 8 months or so. It's been really fun. And Derek's been nothing but patient with me off air.
We've talked a lot of ex-WOBA.
A lot of ex-WOBA, a lot of BABIP, a lot of all these different things, a lot of little tiny things I didn't know about baseball.
That's right. And
Derek could not be any more patient with me. So, Derek, I actually have a gift for you, man.
For me?
Yeah,
what?
no,
What do you got?
You've been, I'm a busy guy, and sometimes you ask me to make stuff, and I'll be honest, chat, things fall through the cracks every once in a while. And a while ago, Derek was like, Kevin, there are people on this planet that I hate. I hate them. I got to put them on a list.
Yeah.
And you asked for a graphic, Derek. And I thought it would be very nice of me on my last show here to make you a list, Derek.
Oh, my God. You did the list?
Yeah, so I'm going to throw it back on you, and we're going to get your reaction to this list.
It's Derico's list?
Derico's list.
What do we got?
Just for you, Derek.
Oh, my God. Look at this thing. This is amazing. It's exactly as I imagined it to be. You got Jordan Montgomery, #1 overall. Malachi Moore, I still remember what you did. You even went as far as to put Robert Ory on this list. Kevin, you know how much I hate Robert Ory.
I know you so well, man.
Oh,
One of my
God.
best friends.
Corey Seager? Everybody hates Corey Seager.
Yeah,
Everybody in this chat hates
How could
Corey
you not?
Seager. But, Kevin,
What's up, Derek?
I don't understand this. Why is my name on the list?
Well, you see, Derek, it's my last show.
Yeah?
And I have something I want to express the way I feel about you.
Okay.
Put that laptop down.
Oh my
Put that
God.
laptop down.
Oh my God.
Get on the
Why, Kevin? Why? Why?
Never, ever read the YouTube comments. They're no good.
We should have never talked about pro wrestling. I think we're done here. Follow me at Cap_Caveman. Don't follow him. Our show is at PHNX_Dbacks. But remember, kids, don't ever read the YouTube comments.
We all silly like the mayor.